士们、先生们，各位记者朋友，大家上午好！很高兴参加今天。
童川老师，你没说话刚才哈？
没有说话。
没有说话。
首先，
要不您说几句话？
各位记者朋友来参加这个发布会，并且呢，衷心感谢各位朋友长期以来对司法行政工作的关心、支持和帮助。今年7月1日，习近平总书记在庆祝中国共产党成立100周年大会上庄严宣告：我们实现了第一个100年奋斗目标，在中华大地上全面建成了小康社会。这是我们党团结带领全国各族人民艰苦奋斗取得的举世瞩目的辉煌成就。全面建成小康社会，离不开法治的保驾护航。党的18大以来，以习近平同志为核心的党中央，从全局和战略高度定位法治、布局法治、力行法治，明确提出全面依法治国，并纳入4个全面战略布局，予以有力推进。为加强党对全面依法治国的集中统一领导，党中央组建了中央全面依法治国委员会。这个委员会的办公室设在司法部。去年11月，党中央召开中央全面依法治国工作会议，明确提出习近平法治思想，确立了习近平法治思想在全面依法治国工作中的指导地位。我们始终坚持以习近平新时代中国特色社会主义思想为指导，深入学习贯彻习近平法治思想，毫不动摇地坚持党对全面依法治国的集中统一领导和对司法行政工作的绝对领导，增强4个意识，坚定4个自信，做到2个维护，不断提高政治判断力、政治领悟力、政治执行力，切实地担当起中央依法治国办和司法部的职责使命，坚持以人民为中心，统筹发展和安全，紧扣推动高质量发展主题，努力建设更高水平的平安中国、法治中国，为全面建成小康社会提供了有力的法治保障和优质的法律服务。一是统筹推进全面依法治国，
administrative services and continue to develop a country and a government ruled by law. We are practicing and learning in depth General Secretary Xi Jinping's instructions on the building of a law-based government and to build the major pillars for a legal system. Legislation comes first, and we continue to accelerate the administrative legislation process. Since the 19th National Congress, we have continued to legislate more than 100 laws and regulations, and we have selected 40 pilot zones to continue to improve the level of legislative administration. We have carried out more than 3,000 pilot projects to continue to promote the law-based grassroots administration in terms of publication, and we will continue to improve the awareness of the general public. Second, we'll continue to provide legislative services for the COVID-19 containment effort. We will continue to practice General Secretary Xi Jinping's instructions in terms of COVID-19 containment and strengthen the the compiling of relative laws and regulations. We have also published the opinion on the law-based practices in the process of COVID-19 containment in order to make sure that all the efforts of COVID-19 containment are carried out in a legally fashion. We have organized more than 3,300 service centers and have received the consultation of more than 700,000 people, providing legal aid for the general public in order to contribute to economic development and the welfare of the people. And 3, the legislation are playing an important role in protecting a leveling playing ground business environment. We will continue to optimize the business environment, and the relative laws and regulations will continue to be renovated and compiled. We will continue to keep up the records in terms of making major legal law decisions. We will push forward the streamlining for administrative affairs in order to provide better services to the people. We will cancel all the unnecessary proofs when the people are trying to do their business in the government apartment in order to provide a more favorable environment, legal environment for the people. 4th, in order to build a safe China and secure China so that people can lead a happy and content life, we have carried out the screening for possible risks and dangers and continue to strengthen the administrative work in prison and other enforcement institutions. We will improve the Community Correction Services Center. In the past, we have a major room for improvement in this area, and we are making progress at the moment. And also for the protection and stability of the correction center, we have also done work in this regard. In terms of mediation, we address the mediation cases nationwide. Yearly, this amounts to about 9 million cases. We also provide services to the people so that they can seek access, they can have access to the legal services that they need through multiple channels. We start our work from the grassroots in order to address the problems that is occur. We also carry out legal aid services, and in a yearly basis, we send 1,200 lawyers to the poverty-stricken areas to conduct legal aid, so that all the counties and villages would have access to lawyers and legal services. Some of them even work as legal consultant at the grassroots level, and they work in more than 640,000 villages and counties. This is our effort to guarantee universal access to legal services in order to provide legal services of multi-levels and multi-function. This is part of the poverty alleviation effort. So that is our brief introduction of the legal services and its contribution to building a moderately prosperous society. And now, me and my colleagues will be taking your questions. Now the floor is open to questions, and please identify yourself before asking a question. With CMG and CCTV, so the Ministry of your ministry is an important organ in terms of guarantee the rule of law in our government. So can you tell us more on that regard? Thank you so much for your concern of the administrative services. So this is our major job description and is an important part in building a moderately prosperous society. And in the process of doing our work, we continue to practice General Secretary Xi Jinping's instructions in developing this new development mode and promote high-quality development and to think in big picture term. And in the process of building a moderately prosperous society, we try to give universal access to all the vulnerable groups and people that are in special need. In terms of developing economic and social development, we have issued relevant laws and regulations to trigger the vigor of the market and to safeguard the order of the market. We have also issued promulgated the law on the foreign investment so as to continue to open up the Chinese economy. We have also issued the regulation on insurance, on deposit insurance. We have revised the law on personal income tax so that more people can enjoy the benefit of the economic development. Second, in terms of health industry, we issued the law on vaccines. This is an important protection to safeguard the security of the vaccine and the welfare of the people. We have also issued a regulation on vaccine management, and it has stipulated that the vaccination has to go in the lawful fashion. We are also striving to guarantee the lawful right of the people in terms of receiving medical services. We have issued the law on library, the law on archives, the law on residential rights, the law on museums, and so on, so as to better meet the people's demand for a happier and better life. And we have also issued the methods on guarantee the rights of migrant workers and those of the disabled, so as to provide better services to the public. We have also promulgated the law on secrecy and intelligence. Fourth, in terms of environmental protection, we have stipulated and supervised the law on land resources, on air resources, and water resources. And altogether, 28 environmental laws have been revised in terms of resource utilization, environmental protection, and ecological conservation, so as to further improve the systematic efforts of environmental law system. So the Green mountains and lucid water are more valuable than gold and silver. So this is actually incorporated in our legal system. The legal system has an important role to play in the economic development and social advancement. And in the future, we will continue to strengthen our work of administrative legislation so as to better meet the demand of the people and satisfy the people's pursuit for a better life. Thank you. Next question. With Haibao News, in terms of optimizing the business environment and the market and to reduce the red tapes when the people are running errands at government offices, what are the methods that you have taken? And I'll refer this question to my colleague. The General Secretary Xi Jinping has mentioned that the legal institution is the best tool to improve the business environment, and a friendly business environment and its important effort to improve people's life and to trigger the vigor of the market. And this is also a major field of our work. We are aiming at providing better legal services and legal institutions in this regard. First, we continue to optimize the legal environment for business, optimizing business environment so as to better protect the business interests, especially those of the SMEs. We have promulgated the law on optimizing the business environment, the law on the payment for SME, and so on. And we have made effort to optimize the market environment and business environment for the general public. Major reforms have taken place in this process. We have also revised 118 laws and regulations and have cancelled 19 laws and regulations. Second, we will continue to optimize the government environment for a better market, for a better business environment. October 2019, we held a special inspection in terms of providing better government services for a business environment. And on January 2020, we have carried out the first batch of pilot projects. Many of the journalists here have seen reports online about the repetitive and redundant proofs and certificates. That's why we have organized multiple administrations and government organs to screen the unnecessary certificate that is provided by the people in order to reduce the burdens of the people and to unleash the vigor of the market. On the one hand, we continue to strengthen administrative executive of the market, as well as the review of the law so that they can have better universal coverage. for the malpractices and administration that is untransparent, we have carried out special correction and inspection. We have abolished 120 relevant regulations and revised 529 documents. Currently, we are carrying out the special campaign against unreasonable fining so as to safeguard a transparent and fair business environment for other businesses. Second, we will continue to strengthen the legal system. We have a kickstart special campaign against legal institutions that has some more practices. And 3, we continue to strengthen the other supporting legal agencies, such as mediation and consolation. We have revealed 3,020 cases. And a large number of the mistakes in terms of handling the cases were addressed in the process. We also have taken care of the cases that is unjust, and the mistakes percentage has also decreased over the past years. Since the 18th National Congress of the CPC, we have addressed more than 2.6 million mediation cases of all sorts of disputes. We are aiming at addressing the capital and debt problem that is faced by the SME. More than 400,000 arbitration cases were addressed of various varieties in finance, real estate, lease, e-commerce, share transfer, and so on, so as to prevent and address possible legal risks on the side of the businesses. Next question, please. Thank you. With Hongxin News, the COVID-19 has brought about major impact on people's life, and sometimes legal dispute might rise because of this. And how would you address those legal disputes? In some parts of the country, the people can address their legal dispute through online platforms. And so can you tell us more about the measures to guarantee the security and stability at the grassroots level and better address the legal disputes? I'll refer this question to Mr. Liu. General Secretary Xi Jinping pointed out that we need to strengthen administration at a grassroots level and the administration in the grassroots level in urban and rural areas, address the disputes at the grassroots level, and safeguard the stability and security of the society. Since the 18th National Congress, the Ministry of Justice continued to act according to the instruction of General Secretary Xi Jinping and promote the building of a legal rural area and rural urban area. And this lay a solid foundation for building a moderately prosperous society. First, we strengthen our work in terms of addressing disputes at a grassroots level. Last spring, in Wuhan, at the epicenter of the COVID-19 pandemic, a dispute occurred. If poorly addressed, would cause negative impact. So our mediator worked relentlessly and day and night to address this issue and prevent it from deteriorating. The mediation agencies have altogether addressed more than 30 million cases nationwide, effectively safeguarding the social stability and security. We have also addressed the major concern of the public. We have carried out special campaign so as to achieve a speedy resolution for the disputes. Second, we continue to enhance the mediation efforts so that it will not stay in the domestic environment, but also extend it to the new areas such as medical services and e-commerce. So administrative mediation has to go hand in hand with other kinds of mediation, and the public security agencies and the legal offices need to work hand in hand to address the needs of the people. The local governments also use TV network to carry out mediation. And we can find some shining examples in Beijing, Shanghai, which are warmly welcomed by the people. Second, we'll continue to push forward the administration at the grassroots level, especially the judicial institutions at the grassroots level. Currently, there are more than 40,000 legal institutions nationwide, and at the grassroots level, they have altogether provided more than 210,000 legal advice to the people on a yearly basis. They also provide legal services, consultation, mediation, and other legal services so as to better meet the legal demand of the people. 3. Strengthen education at the grassroots level. The Ministry of Justice work with the Ministry of Civil Affairs to carry out several pilot zones in the rural areas so as to enhance the legal campaign at the grassroots levels in rural areas. We plan to continue this special campaign for 2 more years so that the people can have a better knowledge of the legal services that they can receive at the grassroots level. we endeavor to ensure that each village would have access to legal consultation services. And coming up, we'll continue to expand the scope for mediation, and we will strive to ensure that most of the dispute can be addressed at the grassroots level. Next question, please. With the social economic development, legal services has become an inelastic demand of the people. So how would you improve the quality of providing legal services so that people can enjoy better benefit of legal services? The Ministry of Justice has done a lot in terms of legal aid. So can you tell us more about work in those regards? I will refer this question to my colleague, Deputy Minister Xiong. Thank you for your interest in public legal services. General Secretary Xi Jinping pointed out that in order to build a moderately prosperous society, no one should be left behind. We must strengthen the public legal service system and speed up the integration of legal services so that all people and all places can have access to legal services. Since the 18th National Congress of the CPC, the Ministry of Justice has lawfully played its function as the major body for providing legal services in order to contribute to building a moderately prosperous society and provide legal guarantees for that. First, we build a legal service network that covers both the urban and rural areas. The Ministry of Justice provide 3 platforms as access to legal services, and at different levels of government, we construct 5 levels of legal service centers that totals 58,000 nationwide and basically covers all the places and population. We have also carried out visits to 141,000 people and provide legal services, legal consultation to 39 million person time. And our satisfaction rate is more than 95%. Our hotline platforms handles more than 12 million cases this year alone. The people can have access to legal services of all kinds through the mini programs in WeChat and online. So this is seamless connection to the general public. And second, we continue to provide services of high quality and high efficiency. For many years, the Ministry of Justice carried out a special campaign on poverty reduction in order to better safeguard the interests of the people and contribute to the poverty alleviation efforts. We have opened up green channels to help the migrant workers to protect their own interests. Mr. Tang has mentioned that we provide a special campaign, and we kickstart a special campaign in the Tibetan area and to provide legal services to the local people. Since 2013, the legal aid departments handled altogether 12 million cases. and provide the legal services to 64 million person time. The arbitration agencies nationwide altogether handled 2.3 million cases. And the legal consultation services also has become more and more popular among the people. And 3, we continue to carry out the people-centered idea. And each year, we handled more than 11 million cases nationwide, providing legal services to 770,000 government agencies and institutions. In 2020, there are more than 6 million litigation cases that are handled. At the grassroots level, we have a legal consultant working in the villages administration, and each week, these legal consultants will provide legal services to the local government and people. And they are the mediators and service providers at the grassroots level. You talk about the universal coverage for legal services. Actually, since 2017, the Ministry of Justice worked together with the People's Court to carry out, to advance the universal coverage of legal services. Currently, more than 2,300 counties and administrations are chosen as the pilot zone in this regard, which also cover more than 66% of criminal cases nationwide. We also have selected pilot projects for mediation. We have more than 8,000 pilot projects nationwide, and altogether they've handled more than 300,000 cases. In 2019, the Ministry of Justice has carried out a special campaign to provide legal services in the process of poverty alleviation. We strive to provide universally beneficial legal services to the people so as to contribute to the moderately prosperous society. The Ministry of Justice also encourage its relevant agencies to carry out legal aid, and altogether 940,000 foreign aid cases have been addressed. And this is a clear manifest of our people-centered development concept. In the future, we'll continue to keep up the good effort in this regard so as to advance the balanced development nationwide and ensure that legal teams can be more professional and to work according to the administrative regulation at the top. Thank you. With South China Morning Post. In the last press conference, we hear this report in terms of the handling of the grassroots police teams. So can you tell us more about this special campaign? I refer this question to Minister Liu. As you have mentioned, in the prison system, we are facing some issues of national concern. First, we have carried out this special campaign in terms of the law enforcement department. The Ministry of Justice attached great importance to the reform in terms of the law enforcement teams, and we continue to practice according to the instruction of General Secretary Xi Jinping, and our minister also leads the team of the special campaign. And all of the vice ministers also work to assist the work of the team. We have convened a special meeting on this campaign, and we have stressed that all the cadres and law enforcers have to act and work according to the laws and regulations. In July this year, the first round of campaign carried out nationwide at the city level and county level. And from this month to November, the second round of work of campaign will kickstart. So the justice system will be working with relevant departments at different levels to strengthen the accountability and responsibility at different levels. And this is an inward reform in the legal system and the team of law enforcement. Since this year, we have 60 law enforcers that sacrificed their lives at their post, and this is a clear manifest of our spirit of hardworking and diligence and self-sacrifice. So the team is mostly trustworthy and also work closely with the people and according to the law and regulations. However, we cannot neglect that there are some black sheep, some people that are not acting according to law, and some even misconduct in the law enforcement effort. That's why we have to carry out this special campaign to screen out those people that conduct malpractices in order to strengthen the quality of our team. Once a problem is discovered, we will see that it gets addressed. For example, at the prison system, we have strengthened the system and screening for the bailing out of the cases and for other malpractices at the prison system. Since the special campaign, altogether we have corrected more than 10,000 cases nationwide, and 121 law enforcers and policemen have been transferred to the judicial departments. And we have given punishment to more than 800 staff. So the law enforcement office and the judicial teams is an important tool of administration at the hand of the party and the government. That's why we have to guarantee the quality of the human resources in this team. We must continue to act according to the instructions of General Secretary Xi Jinping and advance our judicial work and usher in a new chapter in this regard. Thank you. The security of prison and rehabilitation houses is a concern of the society. So can you tell us more about your work in those regard? Mr. Liu, can you take that question? To build a safer China with high quality is an important strategic decision made by the party's Central Committee, centered around General Secretary Xi. So, the safety at prison and the rehabilitation center is also part of the secured legal environment. Since the 18th National Congress of the CPC, we continue to strengthen the social security and economic security, and we have done work in the following aspects. First, ensure the sustained security at the prison system, so as to safeguard the political security at the national level and guard against possible risks. We carry out the screening for possible risks on a daily basis. We have also implemented relevant laws and regulations at a grassroots level. And since the 18th National Congress, there are no major legal dangers or risks that happen at the prison system. Second, we have continued to modify the laws and regulations at the prison system and provide the better correction and educational services to the prisoners. Since this year, the Judicial Department has carried out a special campaign in a comprehensive manner, and we have screened out 280,000 cases. Second, we will continue to practice the law on community correction and continue to enhance the quality of community-based correction. Since the establishment of this law, the community legal service centers and law enforcement act according to the requirement of the law in order to further promote the service of community correction at the grassroots level. And so far, more than 500,000 people are receiving correction services at the community level. And three, we have formed this nationwide rehabilitation centers reform and regulation. We also need to strengthen the law enforcement at the rehabilitation centers. The Ministry of Justice also issued more than 100 documents in this regard. We are aiming at reducing the possible risks at the rehabilitation. We practice this inspection on a regular basis so as to ensure the security and safety in the rehabilitation centers. Fourth, we will ensure that the COVID-19 containment measures are carried out in a legally fashion. We have established a full-fledged accountability system so as to ensure the strict enforcement of such laws. And second, in order to carry out scientific containment, we monitor closely the development of the epidemic so as to guard against possible transmission risks. This is an important measure to guarantee the stability and the security at the prison system. And coming up, We will continue to strengthen our efforts in all fronts so as to provide a better environment for social and economic development. With Beijing News News Daily. And this year we kickstart the eight five-year plan in terms of legal education. So legal education is an important part to contributing to moderately prosperous society. So can you elaborate on that point? So Mr. Xiong, can you take that question? In terms of legal education, you must have done a lot of report in this regard. I believe that in your report, you will discover a lot of locations of the popularization or education of laws and regulations. I think we advise you to talk with the general public and understand more about their legal requirement. And currently, we have more than 50,000 locations for legal education, and the Ministry of Justice also have identified 72 national center for legal education. Since the 18th National Congress, we believe that this legal education effort should be done in a daily and regular manner, and it should cover all aspects of the society. In order to continue to provide better guarantee to building a moderately prosperous society. So the popularization and universal understanding of the legal system is an important part to that. General Secretary Xi Jinping and the CP Central Committee attach great importance to work in this regard and established this special system in order to strengthen legal education. The Popularization Law Office is headed by Minister Tang. And he played the lead in terms of legal education and the popularization of General Secretary Xi Jinping's thoughts on the rule of law in the environment of China. We continue to educate the people and so that more people can understand the General Secretary Xi Jinping's thoughts on law. So this is one of our priorities in our work. And this kind of special educational campaign have been carried out at all levels in rural areas, in urban areas. We have also pushed content, relevant content, through our official WeChat account. And more than 1.2 billion mobile users have received the relevant the messages of related content, and this is right now a deeply rooted concept in people's hearts. Second, the publicize of the Constitution's content and the civil law it's an important part for our campaign. We work with relevant departments to carry out educational efforts in the remote areas. We also work with the Ministry of Publicity to strengthen the education in terms of the civil law, which has received very high, which is greatly applauded by the people, and we have received multiple clicks on the first day of broadcast. And the people also participate actively in the special online Q&A and education training. We also are working with other industries and businesses to carry out lectures and work in special areas and books and comics, so that people can understand more about the civil code. This is also one of our priorities in this nationwide special campaign. We have compiled this e-book that the whole society has free access to. This is an important part to combine the legal administration as well as the legal services at the grassroots level. So the law enforcement and law education has to go hand in hand. And we have established this accountability system at the Ministry of Justice. The central institutions and government agencies have to act according to the regulations we've issued, which is the basic evidence for law enforcement. In 6 provinces and cities have carried out the special effort in this regard. In 6, the legal awareness of the whole society has been improved. The cadres, the leaders, must play a leading role in education services and legal services so that it can incorporate into our comprehensive educational system. By 2020, the statistics shows that when they are encountered with injustice, most people would tend to seek legal services, which is a massive improvement compared to the old statistics. Coming forward, we will continue to act according to the instruction of General Secretary Xi in order to provide better services for the 14th five-year plan and to ensure that the legal education services can be more targeted and more universal. One last question. With Renmin Daily, last November, in this central meeting on the rule of law, General Secretary Xi Jinping gives an important remarks. So can you tell us more about your consideration arrangement after this special meeting? Thank you. Since the 18th National Congress, the CPC Central Committee, with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, has given a very thorough picture in terms of the building a China that is ruled by law in order to push forward a historical transformation in a China that is ruled by law. Last year, during this meeting of November, we have identified and confirmed the leading position of General Secretary Xi Jinping's thoughts on the legal institutions. Xi Jinping's thoughts on legal institutions is part of Xi Jinping's thoughts on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, and also our action plan to build a legal China and legal government. We will continue to advance our efforts according to these important thoughts. During the 14th five-year plan, we are marching towards the second centenary goal, and we'll also speed up our building of a legal system with Chinese characteristics. So we'll continue to act according to the Xi Jinping thoughts on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, and the important July 1st speech made by General Secretary Xi. We will stick to the party-led legal system and absolute leading position of the party in the legal system, and to ensure high-quality development in the legal system. And coming up, we will be making efforts in the following aspects. First, focus on the main line and major topics so as to practice Xi Jinping's thoughts on the legal institutions. This is the basic pursuit for building a legal system, and it has to go hand in hand with the special meeting. It has to be incorporated in building a legal China and the legal system of China. We'll be working with the relevant institutions to carry out a special campaign and education of Xi Jinping's thoughts on the legal institutions. Second, we will focus on the one plan and two codes. The CPC Central Committee promulgated the Legal China Plan 2020 to 2025 and the plan on building a legal government 2020 to 2025. These are the blueprint for building a legal China, and it's our responsibility to put the blueprint into practice and to build a legal government and to carry out better legal education services, improve the legal awareness of the general public, and continue to improve the rule of law in the entire society. 3, we will provide better services and legal services to guarantee the accomplishment of the major tasks of the government. We will speed up the law and regulations that guarantee innovation and technological advancement, as well as foreign trade, so as to provide more targeted and more effective legal guarantee for social and economic development. We will provide services to serve the need of the major strategies at the national level in terms of, for example, the national rejuvenation and the modernization at the grassroots level. And fourth, we will stick to people-centered concept so that the legal services can provide tangible benefits for the people. For problems and of major concerns, we will attach special importance to their resolution so as to improve the public, so that the public can place more trust on the legal service providers. And five, we will continue to deepen legal reform, and we will establish this outcome-based system and accountability system so as to optimize the legislation at the local level, and renovation and reform is the vigor and driver to advance a legal society and country. We will continue to act according to Xi Jinping's thoughts on legal institutions and usher in new eras. The comprehensive advancement of a country ruled by law is a concern and task of the whole country and society. We sincerely hope that our dear reporters and journalists can continue to work together with us to contribute to building a China that is ruled by law, and look forward to a more prosperous future of our country. That's all for today's press conference. Thank you.